Okay, recording this video after close trade Thursday, the 5th of January 2017. It is 5:27 p.m. Chicago time. Hope you had a good day's trading today. Going to talk about, first of all, the day trades for today on the E-mini charts, and then talk about the big story today, which was the dollar. Dollar index got whacked, and the other currencies started to take off. But it was kind of about time, and I'm going to show you that on a couple of charts. So, first of all, day trades. This is the open of the day. This is the 11 a.m. window. This is the close of the day. Multiple time frame view on a 500 tip bar chart. You can see we had a very weak little rally into resistance on the highest time frame, and then we dropped off. This was a really nice kind of move, fast and strong to the downside. We found our bottom down here. Bunch of blue professional bars coming in on a left shoulder here and here. They held it, and we rallied after or just around the 11 a.m. window. Just talking with the 11 a.m. window, it's a kind of rule of thumb. I like the market to reverse before the 11 a.m. window for it to be kind of a valid reversal day. This was happening so close to that 11 a.m. window, it was kind of okay. That low was made, 11:11, kind of in the morning. So the low was made just before 11 a.m. and then the higher low made just a fraction after 11 a.m. So that's still good for a reversal day. So although, everybody's saying stocks did nothing today, well, it was a nice little downtrend into an uptrend. Wasn't big range or anything, but there was kind of good trading in here, so that was kind of good. Not a picture perfect 5-step setup on the reversal. Exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence comes in. We start to hold at this highest time frame, but it's not good enough. You can see the system's still showing weakness, so we need to whack it down again, and they whack it down here. We put in a flush pattern, flushing out the last of the sellers at this point. Another little pullback to end of trend, and then we start to break into strength here and here. Then we have our low risk entry point and confirmed uptrend when we get two time frames kind of breaking at the same time. So remember, we're always kind of running, exhaustion sells to exhaustion buys. So looking for our, setups around that exhaustion sell bullish divergence kind of pattern. There it is, and then we're running towards exhaustion buy and bearish divergence kind of coming in here. So it was a nice little setup for there. There was good trading in here. There was good trading in here. I'd done most of my trading kind of pre-reversal, but it did take a long trade at 56.25 out at 60.25, and I'll tag that on. That was just a nice little one, just set up kind of perfectly. Where are we going? Sine wave says that we've got cyclical support on the daily time frame kind of coming up. We've got a bit of a flat top going on. Market does not like flat tops. So I'm expecting kind of a spike above there to put in our pullback to end of trend on this highest time frame. Once you breach so far above resistance, sometimes you breach a little bit above resistance and it just fusses around, not so much, and then kind of falls off. But with moves where you've kind of breached quite a long way past resistance, we need to put in our pullback to end of trend. And that for me kind of counts this, jumping the creek type move here, getting us past that resistance point. If everybody can remember that day, that was a big day. We've now formed this flat top, so I'm expecting that we'll go pull back end of trend and just go for a spiky kind of move to the upside. But dollar index is weakening, and this is kind of the story today. Was on the currency charts where the dollar got whacked and everything else kind of took off to the upside with blue professional up bars. So let me just show you that. Dollar index, there we go, we found resistance. It's interesting, this is on a daily chart. The second cyclical turn after end of trend is often a really important kind of turning point. There's our pullback to end of trend, first cyclical turn, second cyclical turn after end of trend. And what I'm looking for is that's a valid turning point after we have an exhaustion pattern on the end of trend. If the exhaustion pattern had happened pre that end of trend, then end of trend is kind of a good place to look for reversals. But because it was happening there, then we look for the second cyclical turn afterwards. So that's interesting. All those amateur bars there, it's kind of Christmas time, it's low average trade size or whatever. Not totally this is just for a couple of days, for a few days. We have some weakness in the dollar index, and the other indices the other currencies will start to kind of take off. But they've still got to test. They've got to test again. We've got to test this high on dollar index. So it's not the start of a really strong move. It was just we found resistance after this kind of a pattern. Euro, pullback end of trend, and then second cyclical turn after end of trend. Rambo patterns kind of down here. Again, that was kind of Christmas time trading, so Rambo patterns being put in. and there's this blue professional bar kind of taking off to the upside. So the euro is going to start to strengthen. The pound, same deal. Rambo patterns, second cyclical turn after end of trend. So here's the end of trend. First, second cyclical turn. Blue professional bar kind of comes in. I'm quite bullish on the pound at the moment. And what's happening in the FTSE? FTSE's making record highs in the UK, but because of the pound weakness that we've had, the ETFs that are kind of US dollar base, EWU, are not kind of powering ahead yet. They're starting to now though, so we'll start to have the pound and the equities markets moving in sync. So that's kind of interesting. We had our exhaustion patterns, these blue professional bars kind of come in here, 122s type level. We test, nice Rambo patterns coming in here, amateur selling at those points, and then the professionals kind of taking it on. So pound is really interesting, starting to take off from that move. And it's all not counterintuitive, because this was Brexit going on here, and we needed to lurch down, and now everything's kind of changed around. We've flushed everybody out. Everybody who was so kind of bearish on the pound now we'll start to see strength in the pound. Obviously, it's going to test down and do all those things before we get kind of clear sailing, but that's important. That was an important day. Japanese yen, same deal. We've still got to test. We've still got to put in pullback to end of trend because we've broken the support. But there we go. There's that blue professional bar, kind of starting to show the professionals getting interested down there. Aussie dollar, cyclical support kind of comes in. Blue professional bar kind of takes off to the upside. Canadian dollar, there's a nice little Rambo pattern here. After exhaustion sells and so on, starts to take off. We still got to test back down, but it's the beginning of something kind of going on there. So we'll be testing into the highs of the dollar index. We'll be testing the lows of all of those currencies. But today's story was all these blue professional bars coming in these currencies, starting to get the move going. And it was about time. So this is the multiple time frame view on a few markets, and what I'm going to highlight is this indicator here. So this is the multiple time frame beta sine wave, and all I've done, what I like to do is to let me just show you the settings on this for the subscribers. This is this one here, format, and what I've done is I've turned off the lowest and the intermediate time frames, and all I have switched on is the highest time frame switched on to here. Okay, so you can do that. Trade in sync with the highest time frame. So what we've had on this highest time frame and a whole bunch of these kind of macro charts is it's time for some cyclical support to come in. So this is bonds. We had this big kind of decline here, and that is starting to hold. So we're starting to see a point where we'll rally from, but it's too early still. We haven't put in any pullback to end of trends on the lowest or the intermediate time frame on bonds, but all we've done is we found a little bit of support, a left shoulder, inverted shoulder here at these levels. So we're going to go for a little bit of a rally, and then we'll test back down when we find resistance on the low or the intermediate time frame. But for the time being, it's time for this chart. Same thing on gold. There you go. Highest time frame, cyclical support, beta sine wave. We've had all this weakness kind of after topping out here. We have not seen pullback to end of trends, but there's the support on the highest time frame, this number here, coming in here with today's activity. It's just time that we'll try and find this left shoulder, and this is the first point. We'll test back down to put in those end of trend patterns, but it was time because of the cyclical support coming in. Japanese yen, same deal. You can see this is just about to cross here on the highest time frame. Yep, this waterfall decline. We have not seen pullback to end of trends on the low or the intermediate time frame, but we're trying to find some kind of cyclical support on the highest time frame. Aussie dollar, there it is, it's in. This is an end of trend. There we go. Cyclical cross kind of going on here. We'll need to test it into those levels again, but it was just time on those highest time frames to find some support and reaction against, because these moves have been really strong. Japanese yen waterfall decline, gold kind of strong decline, bonds, this is 30-year, but the 5 and the 10, same deal. They've been strong declines, so it was just time that we find a left shoulder in there, and we'll need to press in, test it again, put in our pullback to end of trends before we start seeing kind of a counter trade going the other way. So there we go. It was an interesting day. reversal day for equities, and it was kind of an important day on the currencies. I still think we're going to spike above today's, or this kind of flat top that we've had, and put in that pullback to end of trend on equities. So let's see if we get that over the next couple of days. Anyway, hope your trading is going well. Okay, just got long 56 and a quarter, long 56 and a quarter. Just checking the stops and targets. It's been a good day so far, but we have a reversal setting up, so I thought it would be worth pushing it a little bit more. We had a fairly slow morning until petroleum numbers came out, and then we had a huge drop, very nice, into all kinds of exhaustion support. So for our first level that we kind of dropped down to at 56, we tried to hold around here, but you can see the system kept us in short after exhaustion, sell bullish divergence. Then we've come down here and had a flush pattern, so even more selling, flushing people out. So first place, the professionals were in taking profits, getting long 56, and then when we dropped down to 55, it's kind of down here, blue professional bars, blue professional bars. So now we've had some strength. Here's the 11 a.m. window, so we've potentially reversed before the 11 a.m. window, so that's the low. This is a higher low, so potentially this is a reversal. It's getting kind of interesting at the moment. This little push down, amateur down bars. It's not a classic 5-step. We had our strength, but then we kind of flipped into weakness here, so it'll take us a while to put in a low risk entry point. But anyway, pullback end of trends. Slightly different signals on the MTF chart versus the 1500, but big support here. We overshot it a little bit, and then another little pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame, and we're starting to break. I think that was just a single break here above resistance on the intermediate time frame. That's why we've got this little kind of flick here and some strength. So that's good. We're kind of blasting up through there. And let's see if we get a reversal day. So the target's at 60, is kind of up here. Not a super pretty kind of reversal here, but all of a sudden we're kind of having a little bit of go to the upside. So because I've traded quite a lot today, I wonder if I should just be looking for the exhaustion, the first blush, kind of the exhaustion buy that kind of mirrors this on the way up. So a 6,000-8,000 reading, something like that on 500 tick bar chart. Anyway, so the target's just up here, so it doesn't look too far away. Okay, we've just had resistance come in, 500 tick bar chart, so a break of that will give us a double break, give us a confirmed uptrend. No blue professional bars taking profits up here or here. This was kind of almost jumping the creek, getting the move going. So yeah, let's hold on. That was a fairly decent read, kind of taking us through there, but we haven't seen exhaustion buy on 500 yet, and this will break into a little trend move as we get through resistance here. So yep, it's all good, and just hold on and see where we go next. Okay, we just stopped the rally for a second, but this is good. Blue professional bars coming on the retrace here on this support. It's giving us a low risk entry point. So a break back above another resistance will give us confirmation. So keeping a target at 60. It's been a longish day, and I'm tired. Anyway. Alright, here we go. Looks like we're on our way. Although it is weak, it's a Rambo pattern breaking out. 16 and a quarter is what I'm after. At some point we'll get resistance, kind of print on the 45. It's actually triggered confirmed uptrend here. Blue professional bar, I suppose this high up here is important. 59.50. I just got rejected there, but getting through that would be important to show that we've changed trend direction. Anyway, still holding. And bingo, finally out. 60 and a quarter. Took a while. It's kind of slowed down a bit. But that's good. Another 4. So happy. Fairly long day trading. What's it? Just gone 12:15 Chicago time. And that was potentially a reversal day. So after a sell-off, 11 a.m. window kind of comes along, and we're having a little bit of a rally on the other side of that. Anyway, done. Good.